It's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do please like and subscribe. It's down there. And your comments. I really like your comments. Apart from those that tell me that I can't sing for toffee. Anyway, today I am going to sing you a song. It's not that one I was requesting. I keep getting the same request. People want me to sing Over the Hills and Far Away. I searched for it on YouTube. But I really think that that's just a message to tell me to go climb a hill as far away as possible. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to talk today about, unfortunately, it's Tommy Robinson, isn't it? Yeah, he went for his appeal against his sentence and was kicked back and told that no, he must serve his term imprisonment for contempt of court. You see, let me talk a little bit about contempt of court. When I worked at Strangeways, one of the inmates that was helping carry me for the office, the prison records, and which I was the officer in charge of the prison records department for a period of time, about 18 months actually. He was sentenced for contempt of court, and he was telling me he'd been in 6 months. And he had written to the court, along with his solicitors, explaining that he would like to purge his contempt. And the courts got back to him and they said, yeah, we'll send for you when we're ready. And he'd already done 6 months. He ended up doing about 9 months. Poor guy. And he was perfectly willing to purge his contempt. He just refused to give them some information, but he said he would give them the information anyway. He had to do about 9 months, and he was in court, in prison, down in Strangeways, and he wasn't there on a determined sentence like Tommy Robinson. He was there what's known as sine die. That's at the pleasure of the court, with indefinite sentence. So he could have stayed in prison 20 years, like the bloody Count of Monte Cristo. But Tommy Robinson went up, made a good argument, I believe. But the thing is, he isn't going to purge his contempt. What they're asking him to do is to withdraw all copies of this video that he made, a film that he made, which is, I believe it's available on YouTube or whatever. I haven't personally seen it, but it was supposed that he had defamed the reputation of a certain gentleman, shall we say, and that he continued to do this and refused to admit it apparently, and plead for mercy, which he's not going to do, and therefore his contempt of court application for against his sentence was, according to my reports, the reports I've read, was declined, and he will serve another 120 days or something like that, 114 days, whatever it is. And then he will be released without restrictions, but on the understanding, now he's got to pay attention to that he will not, under any circumstances, commit any further offences against the order of the court, which is going to be very difficult to do. Because if somebody else takes that video film that he's made and broadcasts it, are they going to hold Tommy Robinson for that? Are they going to rearrest him? And people have said that he now appears to be a political prisoner. Let me tell you this. The courts will take a lot of nonsense, but they will not take contempt. So you've got to be extremely careful when you're dealing with the courts and contempt. Another individual that is likely to face the wrath of the courts for contempt is Prince Harry. He has apparently contemptuously withheld relevant evidence in his case, appealing against the Home Office decision to withhold his armed security. And because he has failed to disclose all matters with regards to that, the courts are now considering he's being investigated, apparently, investigated by MI6. So if they're doing that to Prince Harry, you can imagine what they're going to be doing to Tommy Robinson or anybody else who actually transgresses against the courts and treats them with contempt. That's the one thing that the courts will not stand, seriously. On another matter, anyway, I wish Tommy Robinson good luck. Don't particularly agree with his ethics and his stance all the time. He says some remarkably acute observations that I do agree with, but some others that I find to be slightly objectionable. Anyway, good luck, Tommy. Get yourself out, and it's a world where we should have free speech. But it isn't this world, Tommy. It isn't. I'd bugger off if I were you. Seriously. You're going to be a martyr for the cause. You've got a wife and family and children. Anyway, I see another observation I've got here is that the separation unit at HMP Franklin has been closed, and they've removed the occupants to HMP Woodhill, which is where Tommy Robinson is residing, one of them being a man called Chowdhury, who is an active member of a radicalised group that shall go nameless. Yeah, from me anyway, but you all know who I'm referring to. And I believe, from what I am advised, that Adnan Chowdhury is being held in the same segregation unit as, you guessed it, Tommy Robinson. So in the event that those two collide, I mean, he won't do it on his own, would he? But there is real danger there. And the unit's been shut at HMP Franklin because there is a criminal investigation into the actions that took place. I noticed that the families of the victims of the bombing from that, let's just call him a shithouse, shall we? Yeah, that shithouse. Yeah, they're complaining, what on earth? They understood that he was being held in strict conditions and segregated. They didn't realise that he was in a holiday camp. That's what they're basically saying. Prison is no holiday camp, believe me. I've been in numerous ones. I don't find any of that I'd like to spend more than time that I was being paid, properly paid. You don't get properly paid too much these days, do you? And the Home Office and all the rest of it, wondering, why can't we recruit people for the prison service? Well, you're not properly protected. You get boiling oil thrown at you, you get stabbed, and you get paid piss all. That's it. That's my rant for today. And if you liked it, please do leave comments, like and subscribe. I'm going to sing to you now. The Song Dinger. Yeah. Grab your goat, Larry. You're either going for the hills, but I think you might like this, because this is originally by the Dubliners. And it seems that my kind of growling, guttural voice suits the songs of the Dubliners. So this is the Black Velvet Band. You can join in if you like. Are you ready? Don't forget, like, subscribe, comments. In a neat little town they call Belfast, apprentice to trade I was bound. And many an hour's sweet happiness I spent in that neat little town. A sad misfortune came over me, which caused me to stray from the land, far away from me friends and relations, betrayed by the Black Velvet Band. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up with the black velvet band. Oh, I took a stroll down Broadway, meaning not too long for to stay, when who should I meet but this pretty fair maid come traipsing along the highway. She was both fair and handsome, her neck it was just like a swan, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. I took a stroll with this pretty maid, and a gentleman passing us by. Well, I knew she meant the doing of him by the look in her roguish black eye. A gold watch she took from his pocket and placed it right into my hand, and the very first thing that I said was, "What says to the black velvet band?" Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up with the black velvet band. Before the judge and the jury, next morning I had to appear. The judge, he says to me, "Young man, your case it is proven clear. We'll give you 7 years penal servitude to spend far away from the land, far away from your friends and relations, betrayed by the black velvet band." Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I thought her the queen of the land, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up with the black velvet band. So, come all you jolly young fellows, a warning take from me. When you are out on the town, me boys, beware of the pretty colleens, for they feed you strong drink, me lads, till you are unable to stand. And the very first thing that you'll know is you've landed in Van Diemen's Land. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, her neck it was just like a swan, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. There you go, Black Velvet Band. What about that then, eh? I bet you loved it. Yes, and if you did, see me on the sick parade tomorrow morning. Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. That's me.